Greetings to my guitar students and to their families. I'm making this video now partly to save myself from writing a long email and partly to test out the technology for recording and uploading videos and so on and so forth. We are now in lockdown day 32, I believe, and I've been thinking about teaching guitar, how to teach guitar, and my students, and whether they want lessons, and so on and so forth. Let me just pause this here for a second. Some of my students might be wondering, who is this bloke talking to me now? Because they don't recognize me, because I've grown a beard during lockdown, also because I usually wear a jacket and a shirt when I'm teaching. And of course, I've met a few parents, but I've had more email correspondence with parents than actual face-to-face. So, I did get a few inquiries from parents about giving online lessons, and I've refrained from making any decisions in that department for the last month or so, simply because I've been waiting to see how the situation develops, also because my students wouldn't have seen me for this amount of time anyway, because I usually finish my teaching before the term comes to an end, and I don't necessarily begin teaching once the Easter break is over. So my students would not normally have had lessons with me for the amount of time that they haven't had lessons with me. So here we are now then, and I'm beginning to wonder, what can I do to look after my students' musical well-being, as it were. A couple of things I've decided are, well, first of all, I don't want to get into any sort of financial dealings at the moment, because a lot of people are having a hard time of it financially. I'm one of the self-employed who are waiting for a grant from the state at some point or another, and I can survive on that. But I imagine there are lots of people out there who are finding financial difficulties, and I don't want to contribute to those by saying, yes, you can have lessons, but only if you give me money. So what I've decided is this, and I've only just decided it now because, as I say, this is the point where I would normally have resumed my teaching this week just gone or next week. So I've decided what to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start uploading videos to my own YouTube channel, which is going to be called Guitar Stuff with Dave. And it's going to have everything on it that I can possibly think is of any use. But it's going to start with the basic stuff, because I imagine my more experienced students will already be looking at online YouTube lessons from there are loads of really good guitar lessons on YouTube already, and elsewhere perhaps. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to start uploading videos. I haven't yet decided everything that I'm going to do yet, but I'm going to have to do it in such a way as to make it sensible and usable. Because I teach a wide range of students from year 1 up to the 6th form, not every video is going to be applicable to every student. So some of the my advanced students are not going to want to play along with me to Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, although you're welcome to if you'd like to. And some of my students who have only just started lessons are not going to be playing bar chords or improvising or doing stuff that is beyond them. So there's going to be a range of videos, and they're going to have obscure titles that start with GSWD, Guitar Stuff with Dave, and then there's going to be a letter and a number, as I anticipate doing multiple videos. the briefest way to do the briefest way to explain how I intend to do this is to if it's the letter A that starts the guitar stuff with Dave, A is either going to be a basic thing, a video, or it's going to be me talking more than playing. So it might be about the benefits of practice, how to go about practice. It might be about position markers on the guitar. It might be about all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff, pickups, I don't know what. So then if it begins with a B, it's probably going to be for beginners. If it begins with a C, it's probably going to be a little bit more complicated, and then D, E, F, and so on and so forth. The best way to do this, I reckon, for those who are interested, is to maintain email contact. And I shall email, for example, I'll email my primary school students and say, here's a video that might be of use to you. And then you can click on it and have a look at it like that. If you just go to the channel and subscribe and like or do whatever people do with YouTube videos, you might find yourself getting a notification every time I put a video up. But not all of these videos are going to be appropriate. So here we are, we're 6 minutes into this video. Is anyone still with me? If you are still awake and you're interested in making use of these, please, obviously they're for free. But if you actually want to correspond with me or have an online meeting with me, this can also be arranged via the Zoom application, which I've just now started to get to grips with. There are some settings, some audio settings on Zoom that need to be adjusted if music is to be played. And if they're not adjusted, then there's all sorts of problems. So we'd have to sort that out. So if you do want to talk to me, and because you've got something you don't understand about music, a question, or if you'd like to request that I put a video up of something or other, then either email, well, in fact, email in the first instance, and then if I think it's necessary and it's appropriate, then we can do, we'll do a Zoom meeting and see how we get on with that. I haven't yet done any of these videos. I thought the first thing I'd do is to do just to do a message to all students and their families. I understand that you're probably having a harder time of it than I'm having, because I live on my own in a flat, and I have done for the last 12 years, and I like it like that. So what with the fine weather we're having and the fact that I don't have to go to work, and it's just generally peaceful and quiet, I'm actually enjoying the situation at the moment. I do have an 88-year-old mother who's highly vulnerable, but apart from that, it's not so bad for me personally. But I understand that especially families having to put up with each other might be stressful, to say the least. So look, I intend to put stuff up that's interesting for guitar players of all ranges to get involved in. You know, right from, we're going to do beginner stuff, right from playing on those exercises. Remember this? I'm going to do some really basic exercises like that, a few basic tunes. But also going to do some things that are more interesting for the advanced guitarists, I hope. Like I say, I haven't yet decided what form all of these things are going to take. I will be able to email charts and tab music to anyone who's interested. So I'm going to stop waffling now, because that's almost 10 minutes of me droning on. I'll put this up onto my channel. I'll alert all my students and their families to it, and we'll take it from there then. So I hope you're all well. Sincerely hope you're all well. If you're not practicing the guitar, if you're not playing your guitar, Now's a good time to do it. Okay then, until the next time.